Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Etech Leadership Table. This is a podcast where we invite you to pull up a chair, grab a cup of coffee, and join us as we tackle some remarkable discussions on everything leadership. I'm Melissa Wood. I'm your host. I'm the Dean of Leadership Development at Etech Global Services. Hello, and welcome to today's episode of the Etech Leadership Table. It's a leadership and customer service podcast for leaders and by leaders. And when I say for leaders and by leaders, I have some of the best leaders at the table with me today. So, when you have dinner and you invite guests over, you love to see familiar faces and some not so familiar faces. So I have some familiar faces you may recognize. We have Manu. He's our genius at Etech. He's an MIT graduate, and he's the director of all things at Etech when it comes to data and the customer experience. And then I'll introduce Lauren to you in a few minutes, but I want to introduce Jim Iyoob the way Lauren just introduced him as a legend. I thought that was pretty awesome. So he is definitely a legend. If you don't know Jim, you are about to meet Jim. So enjoy. You'll want him at every table that you sit at. So welcome Manu and welcome Jim back to the Etech Leadership Table. I know this is no stranger to you, so welcome. And then a new face that pulled up at the table with us today, a sweet face, Quinn Volpe. Hey, Lauren, how are you?
Hi, everyone. How are you? Nice to see you.
Good. So I know that podcasts are not new to you. I know that you started doing podcasts when everybody had to podcast during COVID. So we appreciate you sharing your talents with us. For those of you who don't know Lauren, we'll send her link in the bio and all the information about her. But she was formerly the Chief Customer Experience Officer at Zipco. Is that how you say that, Lauren?
Correct. Yeah. Okay.
And then she's going to say 20 years experience, but I'm going to tell you it's pushing high. It's probably hitting the 3.0 mark, I would guess, up in the experience field. So with Jim's experience, with Lauren's experience, I'm pushing with Lauren. I've got almost 30 years. Jim's, 70, 50. I'm kidding. So, and then Manu is like the newest, smartest guy. I tell you, I refer to him as the genius. So he could probably be at 150 with the knowledge that he has. So we have a lot of knowledge at this table. So just like I always say, get a pen, get your tablet. If you're not taking notes, you're really not learning, right? You're just fooling yourself. So there's going to be some great things that are coming at you today, all in the framework of AI and the customer experience. I know that you're hearing a lot of information about AI and customer experience, but we're going to tackle this a little bit different today, and especially from the experts in the field. So we hope that you will pull a chair up, grab a cup of coffee, your favorite drink, and let's get rocking and rolling. That work?
That works.
All right, here we go. Well, we'll throw in some maybe some recipes from Jim too, because I know that's why people really pull into this podcast when Jim's on here. So I'm gonna go ahead and just say it. If you're here for the recipes, keep your pen in your hands. We'll have some kind of recipe. We were just talking about it in the pre-session of this show. All right. Well, I kind of want to walk through just a little bit about the AI interaction with the human interaction. Okay. So we're going to talk about the framework, some pitfalls, how you align those things, some insights, voice of the customer, some pain points, those types of things. And then we'll finish off by some recommendations that Lauren may have for us. All right. And then we're going to have Jim and Manu join in as well. So Lauren, let me start with you. When we talk about the framework, how do you balance human touch with an AI, what AI has to offer to get the best customer experience? What do you think?
So experience says to try and try again. The first time you try may not be the best time. In my past role and in some of the consulting that I've been doing recently, what we found is to go out with some really small tests, roll them out and roll them back, and then really listen, watch, observe, and trust your gut. If it doesn't feel right, it's probably not right. And then also you can be like me and be a total nudge and test it yourself multiple times over and over. And then look at the data. Look, are you actually achieving anything by doing this? Are you gaining any savings or any improvements in handle time or anything like that? Because the first thing you really have to do when you're looking at this is to identify the problem statement. If you do not understand what you are trying to solve for, you are going to be going all over the place. You'll be spinning your wheels. You won't know what's happening. And it's extremely confusing, not only to you, but for your customer and especially your agents. You can lose your agents really quick if they don't understand what the goal and what the problem statement is. So start there. Start right there, and then you can work backwards.
I think that's, when we do lose touch of that sometimes, that's why the scoreboards are so big in these arenas, football, and, even when you're bowling, it's just right there in front of you. So you know kind of what your target is and what you're shooting for. That's really good. I love that framework you outlined. Okay, this is for all three of you, and I'll let you arm wrestle on who wants to go here. But when you fall in a hole, that's on you. But when you watch other people fall in the hole, you want to avoid walking in that direction. So let's talk about a little bit of pitfalls, right? So what are some big mistakes? We don't want to fall back in that hole. So if you're listening, podcast friends on here, this can keep you from we fell in these holes. So here we go. What are some biggest pitfalls when you're balancing human touch with what AI has to offer? Who wants to take that one first? Go, Jim! Go, Jim!
So, one of the things I speak about in the industry all the time is a couple things. Number one, AI enhances, not replaces, human interaction. I think the biggest mistake companies are making today is this over-reliance on AI without human oversight, which actually leads, if it doesn't have the oversight of human intelligence, those misunderstandings and frustrations and questions about why it's not working. That's what I would kick it off with. That's probably one of the biggest things I hear in the industry. Hey, I bought AI, it sucks, it doesn't work, can't get it. So why? When you dig in and peel that onion back, what we find is they think this is, and I'm aging myself since Melissa says I'm 70, they think that it's Ron Popeil's rotisserie. They think this machine is set it and forget it. It's not. Right? What I tell people is think of it as taking a shower. Do you need to take a shower every day? Probably not. Should you? Absolutely. So you have to look at these machines every day and look at the algorithms and adjust those algorithms. That's my 2 cents.
That's a good one.
I agree. I agree. Set it and forget it can be dangerous. And I experienced a very dangerous scenario several years ago when AI was honestly so infantile. Nobody knew what they were doing. We created an amazing bot. We thought this was the best thing since sliced bread. And our engineering team literally set it and forget it. This was not at my last job. I just want to be clear. And they thought, oh my God, look at this. This is the greatest thing ever. We gave it 5 problem statements that we were looking to resolve and handle. And they didn't know that bots actually continue to learn. And if you are not grooming your bots can be tricked. And our bot ended up learning a lot that was incorrect information. And our bot started telling customers that they did not need passports to go to England.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So we learned real quick that you cannot set and forget, and you have to constantly be grooming and looking at the data to make sure that, wait a minute, why did I have 5,000 hits on the bot last night when we're normally only having 100? Something's wrong. Use your intuition here. But yeah, Steph got put to bed. She never came out. That was it.
She went to sleep with bad information. With bad information.
He's gone.
I love these things. I love this. All right, Manu, what you have?
So I was just saying that's very true, Lauren. And unless you are constantly optimizing the responses that AI is providing you, you will not be able to ensure that the accuracy is there. But something that you said that which was very interesting, and it reminded me of a philosophy that Jim always taught me is whenever you're talking about problem statements specifically, if your problem statement is not right, that will land you in a lot of troubles as well. What do I mean by right and wrong? Your approach should be customer first. Don't go back with the problem statement saying, hey, I want to, save so many seats, reduce so much AHT. Go with the problem statement saying, hey, I want to ensure that my customers get this resolution as soon as possible. And that's the reason I need automation. Because if you take care of customers first, as Jim has always taught me, everything else lines up automatically. So we need to ensure that our use cases are very customer centric. You are identifying clear AI strength and human strength. Let's be very honest. AI is very good at efficiency, and we are emotional creatures. We are very good with empathy. So you have to combine both of them in a symbiosis. You can't just have AI, you can't just have human. But if you have both of them together, now you are efficient, you are empathetic, and you are taking care of your customers first.
Yeah. Agreed.
It's the integration of all that.
Yes.
Hey, we can stop now with what you guys have just shown us to avoid these pitfalls. Like we could probably do a whole hour of pitfalls to avoid, but those are some key things to avoid, and we'll stop there because I want to go into another topic. When we sit at this table, we just we learn and roll. So the next thing I really want to pick all three of your brains about is how in the world do you get cross-functional alignment? I mean, that's hard. It's hard to, Jim and I face that every day. He and I get to work side by side, and I try not to brag on him in public, but I'm going to go ahead and post it on the podcast. It's amazing to me how he can get buy-in cross-departmental, right? But there are times, especially in the topic we're talking about today, when we're talking about AI and human touch, there are departments that we depend on. There are departments that maybe don't see what's in it for them as much. So let's start here, and I'll let you guys decide who wants to go. But how do you get all departments aligned? What do we do? Help us.
I'll go.
Okay.
So some of the things that I did early on, I did a roadshow.
Okay.
I solicited feedback. The big thing is to ensure that everybody understands what your end goal is, and that you still care about customers first. However, we're going to achieve, X, Y, Z, and then continuously go out there and show the results and encourage people to give their feedback. The one big thing that a lot of people are running into right now is getting agreement. Everybody wants a piece of the action. Everybody has the latest and greatest ideas. Okay, great. I'll listen to you, but first we're going to do this, then we're going to do this, then we're going to do this, and then we're going to go back and look at this, and this. So everybody needs to cool their pits, take a breather, and let it work. And I think if you get executive buy-in, which I was fortunate enough to have some people who were extremely excited about this and kind of let me and my team really run with it. The engineering team kind of sat back and was waiting to see. And then our quality team really just ran with it. And we had some amazing results, and we were able to go out and do some bragging. And we saw that our CSAT was not impacted. So when they saw that the CSAT was literally almost the same, we're talking a couple of points difference between agent versus all bot, you'd be surprised at how quickly everybody would be like, all right, I think A, they know what they're doing, and B, maybe the bot isn't so bad. And it's bringing up the agents to handle those more intense and high profile types of interactions. And it's also allowing us to level up our agent base and get them off of those T1. They don't want to handle, how do I reset my password, blah, blah, blah. They want to handle more complex stuff. So if you get the agents on board from day one with the road shows that are meant to be internal, even if you're outsourcing, get some of the agents on board. If you can get some promoters within that contact center to say, you guys aren't going to believe this, it's going to get us off these quick, easy 1, 2, 3 type of interactions, and we're going to get to level up and go to T2, T3, you'll see pretty quick, people will start to realize that this is a good thing, and you're not taking away their job. That's one of the biggest pitfalls right there, is people are afraid, I'm going to lose my job.
Yeah. I was gonna follow up, ask you, I'll let Jim and Manu go in just a second, but I know when this first started, there was a lot of pushback. Do you feel like the pushback is still aggressive? Like you're having to really be over communicate? You still feel the pushback on an agent level is still that scary?
It's very, very scary. Agents are leaving their existing BPO in droves, actually aisles of agents. You know how it goes, like specifically in the Philippines, one goes, they try it out, and then 10 go 3 weeks later when they find out that their friend likes it. Any of these companies that are not investing heavily into AI are seeing they're having an influx of agents. However, these are probably not the cream of the crop types of agents anyway, because cream of the crop agents, let's be honest, they want the best tools to make them more efficient and look great for their customers.
Yeah, that's a great point. All right, what about you, Manu? What do we do here to integrate with all these different departments?
Melissa, I think Lauren said it the best. You have to ensure that every role understands what is the vision and what's in it for them, and they have bought in. You just have to also ensure that anytime you're launching an AI program across multiple roles and multiple people, they understand that you would always have a say. They can give you feedback. You have to have, feedback loops where once the AI is implemented, you go back, understand what their feedback is, implement that information, and then come back. Because in the end, we are doing all of this to empower people.
Yeah. That's a very good point. And I've actually witnessed people come up to Jim and ask him this question, because Jim is the legend, when it comes to this kind of thing. So I know that I've seen CEOs come up to you. I've seen the frontline leaders, Jim, but they're asking you, like, because you've seen it not work. You've seen where companies did not integrate all departments. You've been able to see the good side and the bad side. So what do you tell them? Like, what would you say if they're all sitting at the table with us today, which I hope they are? What do they do?
I would tell them first, listen to Melissa and get your pen and paper out. 3 strategies. And you know me, I like small things. 3 strategies that you need to implement. Number 1, collaboration between the developers, training teams, all the customer experience professionals, and the leadership. That's number 1. Number 2, ensure the AI algorithms are all based on customer-centric values and insights gathered by that data. And number 3, which is probably where I see the most issues, proactive, ongoing communication with the feedback loop between all the departments. And Manu knows, I caught him yesterday. Somebody in our team sent out this unbelievable message to the entire organization from a mailbox that wasn't accepting any replies. I'm like, hey partner, this is just awesome what you just said, but I'm getting a bunch of questions to my box. So that tells me that whoever set up this email box, because it was a new name, right? We're trying to incentivize people to be giving us ideas. Step 1 would have been the QA to make sure I can get a reply.
Good point.
Step 2 is to make sure you're proactive. What I see a lot is people working in silos. And I have a quote that you should be remembering this. And I know this how. Because my teams will come to me to tell me all these things that are building and what they're working on. And a lot of times I'll say, and does anybody else know? No. We've been working on this for 3. Proactive. Start telling other people, because in my experience, when a developer builds something, it's usually really good. The opportunity is, and I've said this publicly, a lot of IT people and developers solve problems that really aren't problems in the business. So it's important to get the people that are making the decisions and actually doing the job to get that information. Hopefully that answers your question, Melissa.
I'm taking notes. I'm taking notes here. I got the 1, 2, 3 down. I hope everybody else is too. This is really powerful stuff. I was excited to get on this session, I have to admit, because there's a lot of chatter out there about AI, and everybody says, "Oh, there's a lot of chatter out there." But you heard me say it before. I like to talk to people that have mud on their boots, right? They're not just the people that are just sitting up there looking cute and everything, talking about it. But I like people that be about it. That have actually walked through some dirt themselves. So I appreciate the intelligence that you bring. All right, well, let's kind of shift over a little bit to the agent side. And I know that Lauren's got a really big heart for this.
Yes.
This is where I believe her sweet spot is. This is where she comes in, to see an agent's perspective. But agents, when we talk about the customer experience, okay, there's a lot to say, and I know that's Manu's big thing is the customer experience too, and we know Jim's the legend still in that area. But when we talk about an agent, identify the agent's customer preferences for human interaction. How does the agent help give feedback in that area to make our AI interaction better? So you might want to, I don't know if I worded that in the right way, if there's probably a simpler way to say that, but how are we relying on our agents to make our AI interactions better? What can we do?
Well, one of the things that is really important is to listen and be humble and understand that, the agent may have a completely different perspective because they see it from a different lens. Give the agent plenty of time to, gather feedback. This is where the internal promoters really come in, so that you can even ask, to have okay, can we have 3 or 4 people, one from each pod or whatever, collecting the feedback, and really examine those interactions. One thing to watch out for is that typically, and this doesn't happen everywhere, but if you don't bring the agents on board early, like I said, with those roadshows and explaining what you're trying to solve for and explaining that you're not trying to take their job, you're trying to level them up, yada, yada, save them time so they can be more productive. What you may find is that the agents may try to sandbag this a bit. They may feel quite threatened, and they may give you, I don't want to say misleading, but they may give you information that will send you down a rabbit hole that won't really benefit anything. So I would say listen, be humble, but fact check, and have the agents, come with live examples of, hey, this customer got stuck in a circle. They couldn't get out. They kept getting the same answer. It caused them a lot of frustration. And then the other thing is, I would make sure that you are surveying those customers all the time. Send them a survey. How was this interaction? And what I found was that a lot of times the customers didn't even realize the difference between an agent interaction and a bot interaction. And then you can actually go back and show that to an agent and say, look at this. You guys are doing a great job. These are the types of interactions I want you to handle. But our customers are okay with the bot handling password resets and some of the really, really easy stuff, and show it to them and let them absorb it. And then you won't get misleading information. I'm not saying that agents are malicious, but generally they get defensive. They're afraid they're going to lose their job.
Yeah. I love that. That was going to be my next leading in, is talking about the customer, putting the two together, your agent feedback and your customer insights feedback. Yeah. So I love the way you put those two together. Jim or Manu, do you have anything you want to add when we're talking about using that customer insights? Because I know we do it every day.
Yeah, so I would just add, in addition to what Lauren said, Lauren, great answers. The one thing I would tell you, I've said this publicly, you're sitting on the largest data set in the planet. Use it. So as an example, channel switch is probably the biggest one. If we have people calling us to tell us, I'm calling you because I was on your website and tried to do this but couldn't, that's an opportunity, and we know that person wants to do it themselves. They want to self-serve. So how do you fix that process? Also, I will tell you, people who are against bots, I'm not against bots, so you're clear. I love bots, but I also love my experience. Because the other thing I talk about is, in a global marketplace, I can buy your product from anywhere in the world, okay? And it's not your decision to tell me how to contact you. It's mine. And I will give you an example 2 days ago. So I found this new site, which everybody probably is familiar with, Temu.
Oh gosh.
So I spent $14 on Temu, and I was
Okay. You bought 25 things.
I bought
Yep.
like 6 things. But Kelsey, my wife, was yelling at me because I'm an Amazon guy, and Amazon is the best customer experience, best ever. We know that. Okay? But I went and showed her side by side. Here's these salt and pepper shakers from Amazon, $14.85. Prime, get it the next day. Temu, $2.99. Delivered in 10 days. It's like, I got to try this for $2.99. I also bought some other things, and they all came in, and my entire family is not yelling at me, it's not fair. They're all teasing me, Dad, you're an idiot. Look, you had to wait 14 days, and it's going to be crap because it's out of China and all this stuff. I opened it all up. High quality, best thing. As a matter of fact, I'm like, this is actually better than the one I bought from Amazon for a third of the price. So I warn companies out there who think that they're the best. Again, it's not your decision to tell me how to contact you, and delivering the experience is important, but it also has a price. That's what I would say.
Agreed. I have one thing to add, Jim.
Go for it, Lauren. Go for it. What'd you buy from Temu?
What'd you buy from Temu?
Silicone baking sheets.
Oh yeah. So
need some of those.
Here's the problem that drives me crazy with Temu. Those constant pop-up, they are not listening to their customer, because I will tell you how many times I have bailed out of that app because of those stupid pop-ups. Press here to win one more prize, and then press here to win. And it's you're 25 minutes just trying to check out. You don't want their stupid $2. Although I did want it. They had this cute little thing to hang your cell phone from on the airplane. I got it. I hung on because I wanted it. But I'm saying, like, they're not listening to their customers, because that is not a good experience. It is
not a good experience. You're right.
Friction.
Yeah.
I agree with you, because what they're doing is that marketing team is saying, let me throw so much to the wall and see what sticks. Where would they say, listen to their customers and watch, because you could watch those movements, you know that. And hopefully somebody's analyzing the data, because I'm like you, I just keep Xing out of it. No. And then I get my order and I'm out. Hopefully over time, they're going to adjust that so that algorithm actually knows this is not the best shopper. If you don't know this about Amazon, Amazon gives you recommendations as well. There is 1,100 people behind that engine, human beings. Actually, that's why it's so more personalized in an Amazon checkout than it is on a Temu checkout. Because Temu's using automation and throwing darts, and Amazon gets the people side of the business, and they're actually using human beings. And if you go to Amazon today, I want to say there's 300 job openings in that field, because they get that human experience.
Yeah,
this is really good.
Sorry, we took over all your time.
No, this is really good. I know Manu, you want to add a little 2 cents to that? Did you have something I can see your face, Manu. What you got?
Yeah. And especially since Jim was talking about, human powering AI. This is so true. I know a lot of people might not know this. Even when it comes to large language models that are in existence currently, where epitome of AI that we think of right now, none of these models will be in existence if it wasn't for reinforcement learning from human feedback. That was the first next step after GPT-2, to understand how to make them more, accurate, how to help them hallucinate less. And all of that was possible because thousands of people actually looked at those responses and gave feedback saying, hey, you know what, I would like it this way, or I would want it this way. And you need to ensure that you incorporate the exact same thing in agent-driven AI tools. So if an agent is interacting with an AI tool, they should be able to give that feedback, and you should actually rely on data to make that tool better.
Yeah, that's powerful. That is, basically the bots, the AI engine, it needs food, and that food is the feedback. The food is the feedback, whether it's from our just human feedback, our customer experience, our agent experience. It needs that feedback to survive. And just like Lauren gave the example, without that tweaking and giving it feedback and making it better, it will starve and it will die a terrible death. So it needs that. This has been really good. I know we have tons more. We'll have to invite all three of you back to sit at the
Yes.
table. I know we have tons more to talk about. Lauren, since you brought up the baking, the silicone baking sheets that you got from Timmy, we got to close with this. Do you intend to bake? Do you intend to bake something? What's your specialty?
So I'm on this low carb keto-ish type of thing,
Okay.
and myself, like millions of others, I gave into the air fryer.
Okay.
And what I've been using it for is in those little cups, you can make amazing little egg bites, and they're awesome for breakfast, lunch, dinner, a little snack. You put some broccoli or, whatever you like. But if you put them just in the air fryer, it's unmanageable and sometimes quite messy. But with those little silicone baking cups, you can just make little individual servings and then peel it off like a cupcake liner. But they're strong enough to hold up in the air fryer. So there you go. And I bought one to make a loaf of this, apple bread or something that's, made with applesauce instead of oil and whatever. It's all the rage. Yeah.
See, I knew when I met you that we were going to get all sorts of insights. We got AI insights. We got customer facing insights. All right. What about Jim? You got a recipe to share with us? Because I've seen you no carb, no sugar, all sugar.
All sugar. Let's talk about the all sugar. So today, I reached out to my partner in crime, Melissa, because I love peaches. By the way, I'm diabetic. My sugar levels in the summer go up dramatically because I love eating fruit every day, which my doctor says fruit sugar. I'm like, but it's good sugar, right, Doc? No, it's not. But anyway, I bought a case of Georgia peaches. I love peaches. My favorite are white. But I bought these yellow ones. They were sweet. My wife's telling me again, Kelsey's saying, that's a lot of peaches because it was a whole case. I'm like, surely I can eat these. Well, today was the day. Melissa, I can't eat all these. I got to make something. So while I was waiting for her to give me her dumpling, Dr. Pepper dumpling recipe, I went and battered up. I went up and did some things, and I had so many peaches. I did this brown sugar, and the peaches. And by the way, trick to peel your peaches, if you boil them in water for about 2 minutes, you can peel them with your hands, just so you guys know, instead of actually peeling them. Most people probably know that. But anyway, I made myself, this morning I started with peach cobbler, which I thought was delicious. I don't follow recipes because every recipe online I've seen just has sugar and peaches. Big deal. That's boring to me. So I used brown sugar with real sugar. I used cream instead of milk. I made my batter from scratch with my my Vitamix, and made that. Now I told Melissa I still have now a whole pan left of peaches, so tonight I'm making balsamic peach chicken. So I'm gonna fry the chicken up. And then I'm gonna baste it with balsamic and the peaches that I have left over that I didn't use this morning. But my go-to, as Melissa knows, is at my house when Melissa comes to visit, which we love when she comes to San Antonio. My daughter has coined it Melissa Steaks, because when Melissa comes, Jim makes unbelievable Wagyu style filet mignon on the grill with either Brussels sprouts, asparagus, and my famous mashed potatoes that you would die for. So
they are. We invite all you listening to come eat a Melissa steak at Jim's house, and if you'll send us a message, go and give us some feedback. We need to know what to do with all these peaches. Do you hear me? We just need ideas. I know he can go to Claude AI and get ideas for the peaches, but we want to hear from you sitting at the table and tell us some ideas. Manu, as we close this out today, first, Lauren, thank you for sitting at the table. You've got to come back. You have got to come back because I want to see the egg bites in the air fryer. I think that's important for me to see. Jim, make a smoothie with those peaches. Manu, what can you close us out with?
I would just say, Melissa, whenever you're thinking of implementing AI in an organization, always, as Lauren said, start with a clear problem statement. As Jim reminded us, we need to ensure that it's in harmony with people, and it's never set it and forget it. You have to ensure that you are optimizing your processes as you go along.
Absolutely. And do those road shows. I think that's really important. Those road shows, just for that buy-in from all the departments and getting that feedback. So I love all the insights. Thank you for the great topic. I can't wait to see what we talk about next. Until next time, we'll see you at the Etech Leadership Table. See you soon.